What's up and welcome everybody, Carl93 back at it again with another figure review, and today we'll take a look at the SH Figuarts Imperialdramon Fighter Mode Premium Color Edition. First look, an Imperialdramon PC makes for a striking first impression. To me, Imperialdramon always had such a coolness factor that he's immediately the one I think of when someone mentions Mega Level Digivolution. The color combination is pretty badass, the sculpt work is sharp, and the proportion is close to perfection. The metallic red and gold paint complement the flat black plastic and gives Imperialdramon even more of a visual pop. The impressive wingspan adds a presence and makes him look even bigger than he actually is. If there is a perfect example of what a premium color figure looks like, in my opinion, it's dead even between Imperialdramon and Alphamon Oryuken. I do have a minor gripe though. If you look closely to the head sculpt, it's painted a darker shade of blue than the rest of his body. Now, through extensive cross-checking with random images I found on Google, it seems this is the wrong color. It should be the Vmon blue like the rest of the exposed skin. Admittedly, it doesn't really look out of place and can easily be ignored. I just thought it would be worth pointing out. Moving on to articulation, head and neck are on a ball joint. The shoulder pads can go up and down and even slightly rotate. Shoulders are on a special type of connection. It's attached to the body in what feels like a ball joint, but it's also attached to a hinge so that Imperialdramon can move his shoulders upwards at the side. Elbows barely go over 90 degrees. There's an elbow swivel. The dragon mouth can open at 2 points. The abs are on a ball joint. There's an ab swivel, ab crunch, and a bit of an ab arch. Legs can go forward. Legs can go sideways a bit. Double jointed knees, and the ankles are on a ball joint. Now, as for the wings, I urge you to be very careful. Out of the box, they're detached and it pegs on the back really tightly. Once they're in there, it's gonna need a lot of force to get them out. The point where the wings connect can go in and out, and the midpoints are attached on a double-sided peg where they can go up and down and twist in and out. Make sure to not collide the wings to avoid some unwanted paint scraping. And finally, the tail is attached on a double-sided peg and there's also a hinge. Articulation is good, although I can't stress this point enough, you have to be extra careful when manipulating the wings. Let's start accessories like we often do with my channel, and that's with some extra hands. You also get a rounded display base with two different types of attachments. The first is your typical clamp, and this really doesn't do a good job of securing the figure. I would recommend the second option, which plugs into the figure's groin area, and it's a more secure connection. Imperialdramon comes with his signature weapon, the Positron Laser. You can attach it to either of the figure's forearms, and you also have a double grip option. Just open the dragon mouth, and he's ready to blast, Gundam Virtue style. But I suppose Imperialdramon did come first. And finally, he comes packaged with the awesomely named Gigadeath, which apparently is another blast attack according to this random clip I found. Regardless, you can never have too much firepower. Just ask the Wing Zero. A quick size comparison. Here's Imperialdramon PC next to Alphamon Oryuken, next to Omnimon PC, and to provide a totally different sizing context, here it is next to Robot Spirits Gundam. Since the reintroduction of Digimon SHF via the premium color subline, it's been quite a treat for fans like myself that missed out on their initial run back in the early 2010s. It should go without saying that I recommend picking up this figure, especially if you missed out on the OG. But on the flip side of that, if you already own the previous SHF release, I don't really see much of an incentive to pick this one up. In my opinion, Imperialdramon is the weakest among the PC releases so far. Omnimon got a color-corrected wired cape and they fixed the ankle stiffness that was a known issue for the previous figure. Alphamon Oryuken got the most new stuff, as he not only received a wired cloth cape, but also a bunch of newer accessories, namely a pair of energy wings, and even a new weapon, Divine Sword Grade Alpha. As for Imperialdramon, he basically just got a shinier metallic finish, which they all did. Don't get it twisted though, Imperialdramon is not a bad figure. I'd actually say he's quite good, especially when you consider that this figure mold is nearly a decade old. My gripe is with the overall package and the lack of distinction from the OG. But then again, sometimes all it takes is a fancier paint job, and it really doesn't get any fancier than this guy. And maybe, just maybe, that's good enough. Imperialdramon PC is a good figure, but the overall package is a bit underwhelming.